Hi guys, I just wanted to reach out to all the people who sent me birthday wishes on Facebook and say thanks on this, the 34th year of my life. I want to put this video up during the week of my birthday, but my presentation skills were awful, so I just said forget it. It's been about a month since then, and I have received new inspiration from a young lady on the internet who is having great success posting most of what she learns up on Facebook. And I thought if there's something that I could share that would inspire others, it does nobody any good if I keep it up here. And so these videos will be a way for me to get down my thoughts and my learning experiences. And if someone finds value in that, great. I would actually like to start by sharing with you the journey that I've taken to get to this point in my life. And it takes a lot of courage for me to do that because some of you may not agree with or necessarily support a lot of what I have to share with you. But if you can keep an open mind and implement these things in your life, it will not change the fact that they will help you, as they helped me, to get to that next level and achieve greater things. I want to take about 10 minutes to do that, so bear with me. As I said, I am 34, and that comes with a lot of changes. There are a lot of forces moving in my life right now to set me on new paths and point me in new directions, and it's really exciting. But there's also a level of anxiety that comes with not being able to see clearly all of the steps that I need to take to get to where I'm going. And really, this journey started for me back in high school when I graduated and realized that the American education system had nothing to offer me, at least nothing that I really wanted. I was always very frustrated in school because there was lots of stuff that I wanted to learn and I couldn't because I had to follow a curriculum. And I had to do my homework assignments on my own. I could not collaborate with fellow students on tests and projects because that would be considered cheating. Our American education system is designed to do something very, very specific, and that is to create workers, conformists for our workforce. And it does this very, very well. And I wanted nothing to do with that. I was a nonconformist. I loved to break the rules, which is probably why my teachers found me such a difficult student. So as soon as I got my diploma, I was out of there to look for something that would benefit me most. And that was a difficult decision because most of us begin from a predetermined path in life. Many of you know what I'm talking about when I say you go to school and you work hard and you do your homework assignments and you don't screw up and you be a good little student and you get that diploma, and then maybe you'll go on to college and you learn a skill or a trade. And once you graduate from college, a whole world of opportunities opens up to you. And you go get that safe, secure job, and then you work for a predetermined number of years, and maybe you get to retire on a half to a third of what you were making full time. That is if you prepared and saved for that eventuality. But most people know that that's broken. At least it doesn't work as well as it used to. And I talk to a lot of college students in my line of work that are wise to the fact that something is wrong, because they see their friends and their family members graduate, and maybe 20% of them get a job in their field of study. But all of them are immediately saddled with a load of debt, and they have to go right to work at fast food restaurants and all sorts of part-time jobs just to cover their expenses every month. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a very high risk, very little reward. If that were an investment, I would stay far away from it. Leave me out of it. I want nothing to do with it. And so when people would ask me after high school, are you going to go and get yourself a college degree? I would tell them about my dreams and my plans to become a great man and make a lot of money. And I got a lot of the same reaction out of most folks. You need to stop this dream in business. Get your head out of your butt and finish school and go out and get a job and be a productive member of society. And I said, no, I want nothing to do with it. You can take that model and shove it. I'm going to go out into the world and discover an education that's going to benefit me most. I want to find out what's important to me. And it broke my heart because I would see these people turn right around and have more opportunities than me to learn from great people. And they would just look at them and go, those rich folks, I don't understand them. They're greedy, awful people. Or they would play the victim card and they'd be like, of course those guys can make money. It's just not in my genetics. And I want to explain something to you guys. The only difference between those people and us is they just have a little bit more education than we do. But it is not the amount of education that matters most, but rather the kind of education. And most people will never explore enough to figure out what kind of education that is. Somewhere in life, we are taught that money is somehow evil and rich folks do evil things with it. But that's just a gross misreading of a Bible verse in 1 Timothy that goes, the love of money. The love of money is a root of evil. A perfect illustration of this would be a rich man is coming home from a long journey on a boat with all of his possessions, and the boat sinks. And he has an opportunity to save himself, but he wants to take all of his riches with him, and he winds up drowning in the process. His riches literally killed him. And there's something to be said about people who go out into life just to gather stuff. And then their heart tells their brain, we cannot be happy, or we cannot live without these things. And now they've attached emotion, even their life, to those things. And so I realized there were traps. And you got to know about the traps if you're going to do this. I also know that there are a lot of great things, such as setting up charitable organizations that you can do with money. And so that's what I wanted to do. I started from that. I started with that in mind. And it is through that mindset that I discovered financial education. And this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I had an opportunity to read this out of high school. I didn't. I've since read it several times to make up for that. But this book will teach you the difference between an asset and a liability. For example, your house is a liability, not an asset. It takes money out of your pocket every month and puts nothing in. You can use it as a credit card, but many people found out that that has big consequences, especially in the last housing bubble burst that we had. This book will teach you how to get out of the daily grind that many of us now consider the rat race. It will teach you how to keep more of what you earn instead of blowing it out of your expense column every month. And it will teach you an abundance mindset instead of one of fear and scarcity that runs most people's lives. Now, I have since done a lot of studying and done a lot of reading since discovering financial education, which, by the way, you will not find in any college in the land. At least I never have. But one of the greatest lessons that I took away from this learning is if you want something in life, then you need to go find someone who has what you want and stop taking advice from people who are where you're at. Then you need to figure out whatever it is that they did to get what they have, and then you need to duplicate that, and you will have what they have. Now, most people will never do this because they've been pre-programmed in life by outside forces to despise wealth and success. I hear it all the time. People say to me, well, I'd rather be happy than rich. And I think, why can't you have both? What makes those two things mutually exclusive? This doesn't occur to most folks because they have some sort of belief that they have been given in their lives. And this sets up mental blocks for them. It colors their world. They have swallowed some sort of dogma, or they've been indoctrinated, and they just cannot get beyond those mental blocks on their own. It brings a quote from Einstein to mind, and that is, the significant problems that we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking that created them. If you want to move to a higher level of thinking in life, you've got to break down those barriers. And if you need to enlist the help of other people to do so, by all means, do it. This isn't going to happen for most folks because they would consider it to be too hard or too difficult. It's just too painful. And so they would rather let everyone else do the thinking for them. But be careful about that, because most folks are self-interested. And if they come into your life and say, I'm going to help you manage these things, they're hoping to get something out of it, and it may not benefit you at all. The best thing you can do is take personal responsibility for your life, for your finances. Is it going to be difficult? Is it going to be hard? Yes! But nothing worth doing in life doesn't come without some work. If you want get-rich-quick schemes, you will always be broke. I guarantee it. You have to determine your own path. A wise, self-directed education can be the most valuable key to a future of freedom and wealth. Every dollar that you invest in expanding your mind in the right areas is money well spent. And I would start, if I were you, with financial education. I want to say thanks to all the people who sent me birthday wishes once again. And I want to leave you with this thought, which I hope to conclude many more future videos with. And that is, if you want to be successful, you must first find happiness, whatever that is for you, whatever that looks like for you. For it is only through happiness that you will receive the energy to make your dreams a reality. Thanks, guys, and see you in the next video.